You got to make sure that you stop dancing just at the right time for when that music stops, that you can not be on camera dancing. So
Yeah, it's an art form to not be caught dancing.
the instant I know when it's going to start, dun dun dun. So with that, everybody, I am Jeff Fuller, and that is Matthew Enderly from Patchphrase. And we are both here representing the Embroidery Nerd, and I changed the screen that this is on so that I look like I'm looking at Matt instead of looking off into the space, which is quite often what I look off into as I'm half asleep. So today is ultimately it's Education Friday, right? There's been a lot of education out there. Been seeing all sorts of fun stuff popping up in live streams. I've caught part of the take up and part of the half and part of the two regular guys. My wife actually had the day off today, and so a little bit of a honey-do list. And then, I had to take my 3 naps today. So between my 3 naps and the honey-do list and a couple of things on the computer, I haven't really gotten much accomplished, but I'm working on that. So, so far we have no one in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, it's expected. I mean, we didn't really, advertise it.
Yeah, we just kind of showed up. Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that I don't think we're going to get a lot of people on, but hopefully we do. So things that are coming up, I know that the applique getaway is coming up here pretty soon, and I may or may not be teaching in that. So for you guys that are excited for that, you definitely should keep an eye out for that. And then pretty much the whole topic for today's live is happening tomorrow. So
it'll be pretty exciting.
I'm pretty excited for it. So it'll be happening tomorrow. It's going to be Lee Caroselli from Balboa Threadworks. Website's learntodigitize.net. She will be here. Yep, there you go. Hashtag Balboa Threadworks. She will be teaching a class on shading and blending. And I have to make sure that I get that correct because we're going to be talking about how to put shading and blending together when you're blending threads with varying densities to be able to add volume, add shading, and have it come out looking pretty good. So,
well, you got some examples there, don't you?
I sure do. I have a bunch of samples sitting behind me. Okay, well, not a bunch, but some. But we have Belle here in the comments. Hello, Belle, from Tennessee. So this is, let me grab the bottom one of the stack. So this is the one I sewed out not too long ago. It's 2 Labradors. No, German Shepherds. It's 2 dogs. We're going to go with dog. It's 2 dogs.
Disappointed.
And I'm trying to remember how many colors this is. I think it's 1, 2. I can't look at them and guess, but I could. But it's they're silver and black and yellow actually, and blue.
Silver and a dog? How does that work? Like actual silver thread?
Well, it's like a gray.
That's like a color you wouldn't expect to use in like something.
I wasn't expecting to use the yellow either. That one kind of threw me off. But when it
looks really together, terrible on the spool, but it obviously it looks amazing in the design.
Yeah, and it's it's interesting because if you look like over here, it looks like a really dark silver. If you look up here, it's a light silver. But it's the same
thread.
It's the same thread. So it's actually because of the way that she's layered it and blended it, it gives the silver actually has like 3 different tones on here, when it's actually just 1 silver thread. So that's really, really cool how she does that. And it's kind of fun to watch it sew out. And another thing that's really interesting is this is primarily a horizontal fill. So there's not like all the fill levels are going horizontal, but you get yet the definition in the legs and on the face particularly that makes you think that it wouldn't be a horizontal fill, but it is.
So you should hold it closer.
I need to hold, but then it's in front of
me. Now the lighting's terrible.
Exactly.
Someone needs to invest in some better recording equipment.
I know I need to. But there we go. Usually I have Adam make the video or take pictures for me because he's really good at pictures and I suck at it. But then I've done a couple of lions and it's sort of the same thing. So it's actually multiple colors. I want to say this one's got like a tan and a dark brown and a black and maybe a mid-tone, but it's not very many colors. and it's kind of the same thing. It's a horizontal fill. Like the whole thing, it's just one horizontal fill, which it doesn't look like it, but it is. So I really, really like the style that she brings to it, and
it really makes it pop.
It does, and the the use of the layering where she goes in here, like it's a little darker here. It's actually it's just the way that the colors are blending together versus actually being two different colors, which is something that you don't really see. And then the other thing that's really, really nice about this is it's not hard. It's not bulletproof. It flows with the garment. It wrinkles. It bends, which is with the amount of coverage that it has, you would think that it'd be very, very stiff and hard, but it's not. And we do have a comment here from Sedona. First, Belle says, looks awesome. I agree. They're pretty cool. And Sedona, I love watching her design sew out. It's really, really neat to watch her design sew out too. I have, and this is again, it's another horizontal fill, but it's the head of a lion. So, I'm peeking over to make sure you guys can see it. But it's the same kind of thing. It's actually the same colors that the first lion we're on. So I was gonna do one, but then I ended up doing two. And originally my wife wanted to put these, we were gonna sew a pillowcase. So we were gonna sew the two lions together and have pillowcases. But then after they sewed out and they've kind of been sitting here, my wife's been looking at them a while. She's decided that she wants to frame them all. So now, instead of making pillowcases, we're actually going to frame them and hang them up in the guest room. So it's something that's definitely different, and I really, really like it. It's really cool the amount of blending that she does and the shades that she gets.
Can you show that again? Question. So how would that design translate onto like a denim jacket or something like if you tried using that design, or like obviously the same type of concept, in order to put it on like a jacket back for like a school and put like the high school name and football or whatever. I mean, something like that I feel would sell for quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it would. And this would actually translate really well. Really, really well onto like a denim jacket back or really stable material. This is probably almost see-through twill. It's the twill from Fabric Wholesale Direct, so you know which one it is.
Yeah.
But it's fairly see-through twill, and it's a single layer of 2.5 ounce cutaway. So it's not like it's overly, it's not one of those things that you have to throw down 3 layers of stabilizer and a tearaway and a topping. It's actually, it's really, really light. And one of the things that Lee teaches, and she's really great about, is using a very minimal amount of underlay and density. So she's very big into not using a lot of density to achieve results. And it's really, really cool because there's not a lot of density in here, and but it's full coverage, and you can feel that it's full coverage, but it doesn't feel like what you would throw down on a left chest. So I can see you found the video of the pheasant.
Yeah. Just in case people haven't seen it before, yeah. I just feel like, because every high school that with a lion as a mascot, they have that same exact clip art where it's just a solid silhouette. You do something like that and you show that. I mean, you did that on your a home machine. You don't need to have something super expensive. I mean, if you can do that, show it to the school, and 20 jackets that I don't know how much you would even charge it for. Obviously, I don't do shirts or jackets or whatever, but I
would charge enough to make it worthwhile. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
It's really, really interesting because a lot of places, like high schools in particular, sometimes colleges, they'll come to you and they'll say, you know what, everybody has the exact same, like we all have the same lion, we all have the same, it's always the same animal, it's the same kind of clip art. Because you can get the clip art from clip art design shops. So usually a lot of the logos look the same. And they're all looking for that new design, that new image that's going to help kind of set the school apart a little bit from what they have to, from the market that they're trying to get. And I stopped talking. the designs that she sells and the style that she teaches, it's one of those things that you could really like. It's gonna set apart it's gonna set you apart from your competition. And even if they don't go with the design that's that intense, they're still gonna think, okay, well, they can do this, and it looks great. So I'm gonna trust them with my left chest logo. I'm gonna trust them with my hat. I'm gonna trust them with my heat press. It's not that you have to show something like you don't have to do the crazy, incredible blending all the time, but it's giving your customers that idea that, you know what, I can do this too, that they're going to kind of pick up on that. And I think one of the best examples of it that we have that we can use is whenever somebody posts a picture of something impressive, and it's usually a digitizer. They'll post something really, really impressive in a Facebook group. And because they posted that really impressive thing, they get people saying, hey, can you do my logo? Can you do my, and they're not asking for the crazy impressive thing, but they see, hey, they can do that. I trust them to do my not so cool item. So, but yeah, those are the puppies I stitched out. They're really, really cute. And yeah, I'm going to have to frame. I have to find a frame now. It's a whole thing. We have to frame them. But we have Shauna. I'm butchering it already. Sorry. I apologize tuning in.
That's why I just don't read names. I
gotta stop reading
names. I know.
But yeah, this pheasant is really, really impressive. And I believe that this is the file that she's giving out in the class. So if you attend the class, you get this one, and it's really, really, it's one of my favorites. That of all the ones that I've sewn out, it's one of my favorites that she's done. That I've seen. Her design collection is like 5,000 or 6,000 designs. It's massive. But this pheasant is definitely one of my favorites, and it's definitely really, really cool. So. We have Lynn here saying hello from North Carolina. Hello. So yeah, we're going to be hosting her again. So we've held 2 webinars with her. This is the 3rd. I want to say webinar number 2 we did. She gave out the apple design. So this is the blended apple that she did here. Let's bring it into camera. And this again, it's a horizontal fill. If you look at all the stitches, they all go in the same direction. But when you step back a little bit, it doesn't look horizontal, and it definitely doesn't look like embroidery. You can probably say it's embroidery, but it's not quite. you don't get that kind of that's embroidery look.
You know what that would look really cool on? If you have one of them. I'm not a fabric person. Those like reusable bags that you get for like going to the grocery store. Like if you have a Costco membership, you don't get bags, and you have something to put like fruits and veggies on it, and you go in with this beautiful embroidered bag. And I mean, some people are going to be like, hey, where'd you get that from? Like, oh, I actually embroidered it myself. The best type of advertising is free advertising.
Yeah. The walking business card.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I picked up my chiropractor's business because she liked the hat I was wearing. He said, hey, where'd you get that? I was like, I embroidered it. Oh, you do embroidery? Yeah, that's what I do. And it was just, it needed that little bit of, she needed to know what I did. So we have Eric here saying, always interesting info from Lee. Yeah, we're pretty excited about it. And Sedona, I sew them onto cotton reusable bags. First time customer orders in them as thank you. Best marketing strategy I've used lately. That is actually pretty good. I always try to add something when I get an order. I try to add something extra. It's usually because I do patches. So I throw in a couple extra patches, I'll throw in a hat. But people, they like getting those little bonuses, and it's crazy because you wouldn't think that it would work, but it does. So that's the apple. It only has one blemish in it, and that's because it's my bobbin thread showing. Because I ran out of bobbin. One of those I should have checked before I started. But you can definitely sign up for Lee's class at embnerd.com/blending3. And then, of course, if you guys have seen Matt's dog, it's not Matt's dog, but it's like Matt's dog.
It's gonna be mine.
That was one of the first ones I stitched out of Lee's, and it was actually when I was looking at designs to stitch out on my machine. I'm not gonna lie, this was the one I had the colors on the machine already, and so it was the first one that got sewn out because it was the one that I had the colors on the machine already. So it's black and silver and white, and it does have brown in it, which when I look at her designs and I look at the colors, I'm like, I don't see where that color is. But, you know,
it's in there.
Brown in him. A little bit, but he's got it.
For that file in particular, how hard would it be to convert that to let's say a yellow lab? I guess that's a little hard because you're thinking about the lighting when you're making the blending. I suppose that would maybe a chocolate lab.
You know, I bet you could make it into a chocolate lab. I think that you would just have to look at the tones of the colors because it's black and a dark silver and a white. And so you would need to pick corresponding colors in a chocolate lab where you would want to get the definition. And that's one of the things that I can honestly tell you I struggle with is when I look at designs, I struggle to be able to kind of like break down and say, okay, well, I need to mix these two colors to make this color, or I need to see this, or I need a transitional color. And I've been taking Lee's classes for a while. And it's just, I think it's because I don't see colors as well. As like my wife, I have her pick most of my colors because she just sees them better than I do. But we have a comment from Eric here. Totally concur on the impressive work as a lead generator. Also, you can mix the single fill blends with more traditional elements. Yeah, I think that's what she did on the pheasant because it's not only the horizontal blend, but it's also got some of the, like it's got some satins. All the ruffles and the feathers are satins running in different directions. And I'm really excited for her class tomorrow, which is tomorrow. I'm really excited for her class tomorrow because she's going to be going over like I believe she's going to be going over the Elvis stamp and she's giving out that pheasant design. But the Elvis stamp is one of the cooler things that I've seen her do. And I've posted a picture of it before and I'm not quite sure where it's at, but she, when I saw the Elvis stamp the first time, I thought it was a digital render and that's a sew out. It looks that good. And it's not all the time that you get that, but we hosted two for her, 2 webinars already. There was one on shading, and then there was one on building volume, and this is the third one where it's kind of both. And I really liked the first class and the second class. And what I thought was really, really interesting about the first class and the second class is that you didn't necessarily need to take, you could take number 2 without seeing number 1, and you'd still get a lot of value out of number 2. And it was the same thing with number 1 and number 2. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be the same thing with number 3. Is you don't necessarily need to take number 1 and number 2 to get a lot of value out of number 3, which is really, really cool because sometimes classes, they really build on top of each other and they're really dependent on each other. And what I've found with Lee's classes is they're not as dependent on each other as you would think that they are. So,
and it's not software dependent.
No, it's not software dependent either. So she teaches, which is really great. I like how Eric teaches and how Lee teaches because it's technique and theory. And you can do any of it in any software, which is really, really great because you don't have to have that software or dump that money into that software to be able to take the class. So, but yeah, that was a fun video. Adam likes to edit all my videos. He likes to edit the videos and he likes to shoot the videos.
You can tell when he does it and when you do it.
You can tell when he does it and when I do it. And it's sad because mine don't look as good.
He's got that creative skill.
He's got the eye
creative
for it.
Yeah.
So I had to make a video today and my wife was home and Adam was home, or Adam had to go to school. And my wife was walking him to school and she came home and she said, he was giving me pointers on how to work the camera. And I just kind of laughed. I was like, okay, well, hit the record button and take 3 steps back. That's pretty much all the tips. But he went over to like, you can't pan, you can't move, You have to keep it, and you can't tilt it or else it looks tilted. I really like doing videos with Adam because of that. He's good at it, and a lot of times when I take something off my machine, like I did this.
Oh, that one has sound.
Yeah, that one has sound. When I did this, this design, I just handed him the hat and my phone, and I said I need pictures of this, and off he went. And he came back with really good pictures. So I was really excited about that. So Frank asks here, we're going to pull up his comment because I'm pretty sure it's either like really early in the morning, or I'm not sure if he's up early or he stayed up late. But will you be able to buy all 3 of the lessons as a block later on? That is a maybe. So one of the things that we do at the Embroidery Nerd that's kind of different than other places, I guess, is that we let the person who creates the content kind of pick whether or not they want a bundle deal or they want to run a discount code. Like, we don't run the discount codes. That's up to the person who's generating the content. I imagine that they'll all be available later as a block, that Lee will want to do that, but that's something that that we kind of let them take care of. So Justin, like, he bundled his together and we just kind of handled the transactions for it. So I would hope that they'd be available later on as a block. I think it's a good idea, but we will find out. Yeah, that's the lion.
It's hard finding all the videos because someone doesn't tag them. Like,
someone,
Lee Caroselli sew outs, so that'd be a lot easier to find them.
Someone isn't very good at this. Yep, that would be me. But it's really, really cool to watch her designs run. One of the things that that really stood out to me when I was doing the animals is that it lays down like this base color. And then you kind of turn around and you do something else, and you turn back around and you look at it and you think, there's no way. Like, if you jump back to the front of this, that lion started out as just a solid black block of brown.
Yeah, it looks super ugly, and like, how can this turn into something?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it goes to the next color, and you start to see a little bit more, and then it jumps to the next color, and then all of a sudden you've got a face. And it starts to add more definition to the face, and pretty soon you've got an animal. And it's just kind of like, if you look at the, she's building up the volume and the color, and then you get to the end and it looks like an animal. And that's something that is really impressive.
This is only 2 colors right now, correct?
It's just... I believe so, yeah. Because that's 2 layers. The darker parts are 2 layers of fill, and then it's putting the 3rd layer of fill on there. So that is... You can
tell.
Yeah, and it's only 2 colors right now, but you would almost guess that that's 4 if you were standing far enough away. And now it's adding, I think this is the 3rd color, or it could still be the 2nd.
That's still the 2nd.
Yeah.
Actually, that looks like that might be a 3rd.
A little bit lighter of a color.
You're the one with the file, so.
I could like turn around and pick up the sew out too.
But even then, it's still hard.
Yeah, it is. Here I was going to be the hero and pick up the sew out and make up my mind, but no. So Justin's might be available as a brick here. I haven't talked to Justin about that, so maybe we should ask Justin about that and see if he can drop them in as a just bundle them all together, I guess.
Yeah, we still have the discount for the first one that's until Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday, and that's just for the first one that Justin did. So, but yeah, the shading and blending style on this is really, really cool, and it's different than anything else I've ever seen. So it's interesting, and I'm really excited for the class to check it out. So I ran out of words.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, can someone go in the comments that's actually watching and tell me how the video plays back? Because to me, it looks super choppy in the preview.
Oh, yeah, because we get the preview. Well,
I hope it's not choppy.
It's just chopping bricks.
Yeah, by the way, Jeff, you included sound in that video.
I know. I'm fired. It depends on how far I get. So I use Power Director Pro for my my editing on my phone when I edit on my phone. And whenever you have multiple video clips, you have to go in and you have to kill the sound on every clip instead of just being able to do it point blank. And that kind of, yeah, that gets me. Sometimes I miss it, but that's just me and the software that I'm using. When I get it over to my desktop, I like to use DaVinci Resolve, and I really like DaVinci Resolve, Matt. So I think that you should transfer from Premiere to DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not yet.
That was the face that he made. Although today I went to edit something, and it was like, this feature is only available in the paid version. Please buy the paid version. It's only $300. But then I remembered that they sell some stuff, like, because it's made by Blackmagic. If you buy the Blackmagic equipment, like hardware, some of it comes with the software. Yeah, I mean, that is like, it's just black.
Yeah, that's like what your average high school probably uses for their logo. Just a black fill. I know Eric has done quite a few take-ups on how you can make like a flat fill look better by like segmenting it up and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can do what Lee is doing, not dissing Eric's, both have their practices.
He just put his foot in his mouth, folks.
Yeah, I need to create a blooper that's almost as good as the one that Justin made. But
that one,
you can either do a flat fill, you can sculpt the flat fill, or you can blend it like this. This would be an excellent like sports hunting team.
I mean, that's what I would use it. Yeah. Like, you got a sport or a hunting club.
Yeah.
They'd want the pheasant, or if they're duck hunters, they want a duck or a lab, or there's. Matt muted. He muted. So here you go, Matt. From Eric, it says, "Ha ha ha, no worries."
He's gonna secretly flog me later. I don't know. But I wanted to mention before we get too far away, one thing we know for groups, let's go back to the hunting one. I know my cousin, he runs farmland for a group called NAFTA, and they do hunting with dogs and whatever. Not hunting dogs, but bird hunting with dogs. I should probably just delete this video now. But we know, what do hunters have? Well, they have to have a jacket. They typically have a ball cap. Well, they're hunting, so they either have a bow case or they have a gun case. And if they're soft cover, you can embroider on that. So you could do a year. You could put either the dog of the person on like their hat if they really care, or you could do the pheasant if they're going pheasant hunting. And like 2021, well, then guess what? Next year it says 2021. They're going to want a 2022.
Yeah. So, well, and if you're hardcore digitizer, you could make it their dog. And learning what's in this class, you can learn how to kind of make pieces that look like their actual animal. When you can make somebody's actual dog who just walked into an item that they can put on their jacket or their shirt, they're gonna want their animal versus a generic kind of stock design. But Eric says, I like all the above, done some blending pieces, particularly for nature/animal pieces. So it kind of just, it becomes the style. Like, to me, it's the style that you want to go for. When you're digitizing for 3D puff, you're going for the 3D puff type of style. When you're going for, to me, this almost resembles like watercolor painting. And if you're watercolor painting, you're trying to hit, as much realism as you can, versus, a left chest logo where you're just trying to make their company name look decent on their shirt. So it's kind of just a different style. And what's really great about learning all the different styles is you become a more well-rounded digitizer, and you're able to offer all of those different styles to your customers. So Frank here says, I ran hunting dogs up until last year. I've been hunting once with hunting dogs, and I don't think I could hunt without a dog again, because I used to hunt pheasants without dogs and would just tromp the fields. But yep, So that's the stamp. And that's the actual sew out. That's not a render. That's the sew out. And Matt is muted. Oops.
This is what I would see on like Facebook groups, and it would be a digitizer saying, "Hey, look at my quality of work or whatever," and this is what would look like it's straight out of their software. But this is indeed not the case. This is the actual. Can you? He's trying to get my candy bar, which is just happens to be my dinner since I just got home from work. But I mean, yeah, this looks like a digital render, but it is legitimate thread.
Sew out.
You're not getting it. He wants my fast break.
There you go.
The best.
Yeah,
candy.
they're like, that was one of the things that I've always seen the picture of it. And I told Lee, I was like, can you get me an actual picture of it? And she's like, what do you mean? That is the actual picture. I was like, can I get the actual picture? And she has it framed on the wall. She took it off the wall and she set it down on her desk, and she took a picture of it, and it was a little bit wider than the frame, so I could see the desk and I could see the picture frame and I could see the design. And the design looked just like that. I mean, that's the sew out. It looked just like that. But then I could see everything else and go, you know what? That is actually, wow, that's the sew out. And it was very impressive. So Frank says Flushing dogs. Yep. So I don't think I could. That one's got the sound on too, Matt. That one's got the sound on too. I don't think that I could do a. I don't think I can hunt without dogs anymore. It kind of spoiled me. Right now we have a beagle and she can sniff out a rabbit, and we have a terrier who then takes care of said rabbit, but we usually don't see it until. Well, we're not going to go down that road.
You get in the bed and
we're not going to go down that road. I mean, we have to keep this rated G for general audience.
No, it's Facebook. E for embroidery.
E for, there you go. We have to keep this rated E for embroidery, and we're going definitely down to PG regurgitated. I have no good answer for it. I'm just watching Matt like he's clicking the buttons on the back. So
yeah.
Are you making it to the class tomorrow, Matt?
I mean, I'm going to be at my computer doing patch digitizing all day, all weekend, and all next week. So I should be there.
Says not down that rabbit hole.
I'm sure your dog has that rabbit hole dug up if it goes in there. So we got this massive hole. It used to be like this big, and now Mac's entire body can be in the side of the hill behind the house.
That's great.
I don't know what's in there, but
Mac knows what's in there. He's been digging for it. And it's probably right after it rains, and then he comes back to the house and it's like, why do you need to clean my feet?
Well, luckily it's on the other side of the fence, but I mean, that's irrelevant. That's not what we're really here to talk about, which is this insane blending, which I got to make sure that the wife doesn't come downstairs and see this, because
I'm like going to send her text messages of all these pictures.
That you are not going to do. Because otherwise, all three of these embroidery machines are going to be running that design on all 7 heads, and I ain't doing that.
Well, it's just taking away from your patch production a little bit. And then you will be making throw pillows. I can almost guarantee it. You got that nice Juki, you'll be zipping pillows through there.
Oh, yeah. That's what I need to be doing right now.
That's what you need to be doing right now, making pillows. That's when I first sewed these out, I was just kind of sewing them out because I wanted to sew them out. I didn't really have a plan. And then we were going to make pillows out of them because I was like, oh, the 2 of these on big hoops, I can slap the 2 ends together and I can make a throw pillow, which they would look excellent in a hunting club as a pillow on their couch. But then my wife, she was okay with the pillow idea, but after she looked at them for a little while, she's like, I'm going to frame them. And, sometimes you just don't argue with your wife. I look at it as happy wife, happy life type thing.
Yeah, I think that's the phrase.
That's the phrase I go with, and it, keeps me out of trouble for the most part, at least a little bit, until, I do something stupid, but then I get in trouble. So defeats the purpose. But I know I'm going to be taking the class. I'm excited to go be in it, and I get to say hi to everybody that's there. And we'll be running that on the Embroidery Nerd website for those that purchase said class, which, you know, it amazes me because we charge, it's $25 for the class.
Which is a steal.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of the people, you know, when they embroidery, they look at a class and they think, oh man, that's a lot of money. But then, like, if you go to a trade show, because Lee taught at the last trade show, if you go to the trade show and you try to buy the class at the trade show, they're really expensive.
How much did I pay just to sit and watch Eric last month or whatever? Even though I've already attended the class,
you could have
it was like $70 or something.
Yeah, I think it was $70 for the class. But
yeah. I mean,
you still learned
something yet again, but.
And honestly, I think it's Eric that says it. We'll see how long he's in the comments, and we'll find out if he's still here. But, you know, if you learn one thing that helps you improve your production, increase your workflow, you know, it's worth the cost, because you're going to make the cost of the $25 class or the $80 class. You're going to make that money back over and over and over again.
Like immediately, probably.
Yeah, and that's kind of what amazes me when people kind of they look at education and go, oh, you know, I don't really want to pay for education. I'm just going to go to YouTube videos. And, you know, YouTube is, well, everybody's on YouTube. The great and the not so great. They're all on YouTube.
I mean, you pay how much for your machine and thread and fabric and garments. If it's a like $60 jacket, or that's like the only word I know, I guess, for apparel.
$60. Yeah, currently Matt's stuck at $60.
It's just jacket. I need a patch that just says jacket.
So I think it's because winter is coming and you need a new jacket.
Maybe it's like psychological or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you spend how much money on that? At $25 if you attend the live, and I believe there's perks. But regardless, even the $20 after the fact, that's $20. I mean, you take you and your spouse and a kid or whatever to McDonald's, and you probably spend that.
That's 3 cones of thread.
That is.
And like 3 cones of thread. I don't know how many bobbins.
Were there perks with the live?
What are the perks? Well, you're getting the pheasant design, and, you know, there may or may not be some other perks. I've been kicking it around. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. We'll let people vote. But I was kicking around the idea that I would pay for a one-on-one class and draw from the people who attend the 3rd class live, draw from those names and give them a one-on-one class complete. That was one thing I was actually debating on doing, and I still haven't completely sold myself on that. Maybe.
Well, how about instead of you doing that, the embroidery nerd does that?
Oh, you know, I think that would be a pretty good.
And then it's a we.
A we thing. Well, I'm okay with the we thing. Let's see though, because if people in the comments say that they don't want to see that in the class, then maybe we just won't add that.
Maybe just cancel the class.
I don't know.
Just kidding. You know, and cancel the class.
Yeah. Now it'll be tomorrow. It is number 3 of 3.
Been looking forward.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. And nobody in the comments has said that they want to see a free one-on-one class with Lee thrown in there. So I guess we're just kind of looking at that as maybe we won't do that.
I don't know. The world may never know.
The world may never know. You know who will know? The people in the class. They'll know whether it happens or not. They'll know, but we'll see.
And one nice thing with the class too is it's a small class. It's not like at a trade show where you could have like 80 something people and you don't want to ask that question that you feel is really stupid, which there's no such thing as stupid question. I mean, there's stupid people, but regardless, you have a legitimate question. You paid for the time, and Lee is brilliant and would be able to give you an answer that will not only answer your question, but more likely save you money by you not having to go to another digitizer who doesn't know what they're doing or doesn't know how to do what you want, I guess should be what I say. Save you money there and make you more money.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, you'll learn regardless, whether you digitize or you don't digitize. It's really important to watch designs run. It's really important to learn how they run so that when you get a design that's maybe not the greatest, that you're able to correct it. Or you're able to identify, you know what, maybe this guy that I use that is from Texas City, Texas, doesn't know as
Or
much
California
as he should, or
City, California.
California City, California,
I had
or
that one the other day.
California City, yeah, California, USA City, California. It just
USA, Texas City, Texas.
USA and Texas, USA and Texas. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited for the class. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm hoping that we get a lot of people that they're gonna. If you take the class, you're gonna get something out of it, and I'm really excited to help kind of spread Lee's knowledge because she is really, she really knows what she's doing, and she's really good at what she does, and she's really good at teaching what she does. So I'm just really excited for people that are going to be taking the class. That's all the words that I have. I don't know. It's been kind of a long day. I don't have a lot of words, and ironically, this is probably the most I've sat in front of my computer today. And usually I spend a little bit more time here, keeping up with things, but it's been kind of one of those days that I've ran around a lot and tried to keep things going, but man.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I've been teaching since like 3 a.m. So glad that I can have a beer and a Reese's fast break that the dog tried to steal. You all witnessed it.
And then when your wife gets home, I'm going to show her the lab, and you're going to be sewing one of those out on all 7 heads.
That I will be on one head.
Oh. I know what the answer. I can already tell you what the answer is going to be when she asks about it. You ready for this? I don't have those colors.
Well, you don't have black and white?
Nope.
Great.
I don't have any of those colors. They're not.
They're not the right color.
They're not cable. They're not heraldic cables. I don't have them. They're not heraldic cable colors.
It's not mil-spec.
It's not mil-spec. I don't have it. It's not mil-spec.
You know what's crazy is how this was supposed to be like a 7-minute announcement, and we're now going on 43 minutes.
I know, but Jeff doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut when there's awkward silence, and I feel like that I talk too much sometimes. But nobody's complained yet. I keep looking over at the comments. Nobody's complained yet, and I don't know. I have fun doing lives. I enjoy doing them. Now I enjoy doing it. Let me rephrase that. I enjoy doing them now. When I first started, I did not like doing Facebook Lives. It was very difficult to get on. You'd get on and you would do what you were going to do, and you'd get off. And even then, when I started doing the Facebook Lives where people could actually see me, I was so uncomfortable in front of the camera because I wasn't used to it. Now that I've gotten used to it, it's kind of nice.
Yeah, I started wearing my invisible glasses. Where'd I go? You can hear me, but you can't see me. And now I got the light there, and it kind of reflects. Actually, I guess you can't see me. You'll have to take my word for me. But I'm wearing glasses, and there's a reflection. I should just take them off.
I mean, we can see the reflection.
You can just see the glasses?
You're no longer invisible.
Okay, well, either way. But we could go ahead and pull up a comment from Eric earlier.
Oh, yeah.
There's always interesting information from Lee. So we'll count that as a new comment. So that means we should do the thing where the Embroidery Nerd sponsors a free one-on-one class.
One-on-one class, I'm down with that, but nobody said anything in the comments. So
it only takes one.
I'm pretty sure Frank went to sleep, and Eric had to go do something else, and Candace walked away after the rabbit hole joke. And I could just go up the list and be like, this person left when we opened our mouth here. That person left when we opened our mouth there. And then we opened our mouth and they all left. But, it is it's 8:00 here on a Friday. Yeah. I would not be very lively in the comments either. I'd be probably, I don't know. Well, I know what I'm doing after we're done with this live is I'm going to be I got to set up all the stuff for the class tomorrow, all the back end stuff for the class tomorrow, and shoot all that information over to Lee so that she can join the class and get in on the class. because, that's important that we make sure that there's access for the presenter.
Yep. And then it all goes smoothly, which it
And
will,
then it all
because they
goes.
always have.
Well, I actually, to knock on wood, we've done, that I could hear that in your microphone. We've done 5 webinar. This will be webinar number 5 that we've done.
6.
3 with Justin. Yeah, this is number 6. So we've done
Jeffy
5.
Can't count.
Jeff can't
this
count.
many.
I've got fingers.
This one.
So far, we've done 5 webinars, which we haven't had any massive failure in any of the webinars, which is actually, when you're
impressive
when you're going into technology, usually it doesn't go that well.
I think the worst thing is you just not allowing it to go into replay mode. And then I get all the emails from everyone like, hey, I bought the webinar, but I can't view it. It says the video not playable or whatever because someone didn't click the stupid button to allow it.
But you know what the best part about this whole setup is? If I screw up, you get the emails. That's the best part of the whole thing. Even though we've tried changing your email address in the server, if I screw up, you get the email, and I'm okay with that.
I'll just start sending all the digitizing spam to my sales department.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that, too. Let me just go
I have never done that before.
You've done that before. So Sedona said, I think one-on-one with Lee would be awesome. So I think that means that we're going to do that. We're going to get a one-on-one class going on with Lee, and we're going to pick somebody from the who attended live, not the recording, but somebody who attends the class live. We're going to pick, and the Embroidery Nerd is going to sponsor a one-on-one class with Lee. So
would that work for me? Could I be the winner?
I mean, let me write this down.
You got to find a pen. You're probably writing on a patch.
Tearaway stabilizer. I'm writing on tearaway stabilizer. From a hat that may or may not have done a ribbon on.
That was very Survivor-like. Like you're voting me off the island.
No, I'm not voting you off. I'm voting him off the island. Man, it's been a day. And you know what I'm doing tomorrow after the class? I have to build a desk so that I can move this computer downstairs so that I will once again have all my machinery in the background.
That's what I got to do too. But I don't think that's getting done this week. I'm surrounded by IKEA furniture and none of it I'm using yet.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with the solid like 2x4 3/4-inch melamine construction.
That's literally what I'm using right now, but I wanted something a little bit more up class, even though no one sees my room. But
up class, upscale, yeah.
No, up class, like up a class in the class scale. Like, yeah, we're just gonna end it there before we get struck down.
No more words. We're done. Words. So
well, we're almost at 50 minutes.
We're almost
for a 7-minute announcement.
If you donate $24.95 for this cup. Sorry, I just felt like we were doing a pledgeathon. What are they?
But wait, there's more.
PBS does that. It's not a pledgeathon. I don't know what they call it.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Their annual fundraiser where they try to send you a gift bag. Here is a $2 gift bag if you spend $800 on public funding.
Ooh, that's a good deal.
Yeah, that one. No, see, we're saying
$20, I'll send you this can of empty crumbled Pringles.
No, we're saying if you get into Lee's class, you have an option to win a one-on-one lesson with Lee. And those, I've actually done that before. Little beknownst to everybody. I was working on a parrot. And the person wanted more realism than just because they just kept getting the stock like flat fill thing back from everybody. They'd put it in and they'd get the flat fill back, and they weren't happy with how it, because it was their company logo. They were an embroidery company, and it was their logo, and they wanted to present something really just wow. And I took one-on-one lessons from from Lee to be able to finish that parrot up and do that design. And it turned out really, really well. And they're happy with it. And but I had to take a couple of one-on-one classes so that I could get to the point where I could do that. So definitely.
You find a picture of that and put that on your Instagram because it's not on there.
I know it's not on there because I don't put those things on my Instagram anymore.
Well, that's what it's for. So then people will be like, I want that on a hat.
Yeah, and then you get the I want that on a hat.
And then I want a 2mm text underneath with serifs.
Yeah, all the serifs.
And I saw somewhere that you could embroider on the tip of the bill.
Yep. My favorite is when somebody comes to me and says, have you ever heard of micro thread? I already know what the problem is going to be.
Micro thread your eyebrows?
I already know what the problem is going to be. When somebody comes to me and they said, have you heard of micro thread? I instantly know that they want 75 weight thread on a 4-inch patch, the whole thing. Yep, I've been asked that before, and there was a lot of laughter, primarily from me.
They couldn't hear.
That he couldn't hear, but we work with a medium. It's just like painting. It's just like drawing. But the medium that we work with, we have physical limits. And the physical limits come down to what the machine can physically do, the physical size of the thread, and the physical size of the needle. And within those 3 limits, we can do whatever we can try to do to get something that looks great. But if you want something that's outside of those limits that they can do, then it's time to start looking at other decorating options instead of just continually going down. Because I don't know if you know this, Matt, but when you start getting down to a certain size of needle, you have to start resetting your hook gap. Because
it would make sense.
Like now your needle's too far away. And so you reset your hook gap to go to that smaller needle. And then when you go up to a regular needle, you have to reset your hook gap again. And I can tell you how I know that. It may or may not be from experience. So
yeah, and you think you can be like, well, I can just set this one needle at this hook this hook depth, and then you go to the next needle and crunch, snap. You're like, that doesn't make sense.
And then you're sitting there with the wonderful polishing pad, hugging your rotary hook, going, be better. I'm sorry. I offended you. I'm sorry. Be better.
I won't do that. Actually, I probably will do it again. I won't do it intentionally again.
I won't do it intentional. It's never intentional. The first time I ran into it, I set my hook gap for a 65.9 needle, and then I jumped up to a 112. I decided I was going to run Vermilana. Yep. That was Houston. We ended up with a problem.
It's just crazy, this apple. Like, it's red and then like a neon hunter orange.
Orange, yep.
And then at the end.
And then
I'd like to see a green apple.
Back, and it's no longer like crazy hunter orange. It's all the blending. All the shading.
I can tell you recorded this video.
Well, yeah, I did. And you can tell. Just so you guys know, this was before I realized I needed to turn my phone 90 degrees to fill the screen.
Yeah. And you have sound, which, if you haven't noticed, I'm reaching up here to mute my microphone every time I click play.
Yeah, that's probably good. I think probably a good idea. You should mute your microphone more often. Just like that. Just like that. Yep. Definitely got it down. Got it down, Pat.
Good job.
Yeah, see, good picture. It could be bigger. If we rotated our phone 90 degrees, it could be bigger. But nobody told me that. I had to learn from the internet, and the internet's not always the most reliable source of information.
Did you do this in PowerPoint with PowerPoint transitions?
No.
Slide from top down.
Actually, so in Power Director Pro, it just automatically does that with your pictures. If you have a static picture, it just kind of drifts it.
It makes it a little less boring.
I think that's what they were going for, not being boring. But then again, I'm pretty boring. My video transitions got a lot better when I gave my phone to Adam.
He's just like editing like in every position on the couch and like hacking. Pulls out a keyboard, plugs it in, rolls it out, and just.
You walk in there and he's like got his feet on the top of the couch and his head hanging off the end of the couch and he's holding the phone upside down like this, editing, and you're like, "Yep, that's kids these days." But leverage the talent that you've got.
Yep.
He likes to edit videos, and I'm gonna let him like to edit videos. Especially when they're my videos, because he's better at it than me.
It's not child labor if they volunteer, right?
Well, I mean, technically, it's not child labor if it's your own child. And if it's not really labor, I mean, it is editing video. It's kind of like video games for them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you want to kind of start trailing this off, but I figured pull this handy dandy webpage. If you're curious what the link is down the big link, like you couldn't miss it. That link will take you to this webpage on our website, and here you can see all of the parts. If you are interested in the first one, you can click join the webinar, and you can enroll into it. Same with the second and the third one.
Yep. And the third one is, the first two are recorded, and the third is going to be live tomorrow. Yep. And you have to join the webinar. You'll get a link before the class that you'll be able to join, get in there, enjoy the class, all that fun stuff. At the end of it, we will draw a winner for out of the names that are, because it tells us who's in the class. So out of the names of who's in the class, we'll go ahead and draw a winner and see who gets the one-on-one class with Lee. And I think there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be excited for that. So yeah, Matt's currently, like, what you guys can't see that I can see is I can still see Matt's screen and I can see what he's typing. And you guys can't see that, but I can see what he's doing.
Yeah, it's super secret.
It's super top secret. But he's going to go ahead and click some more buttons here in a second, I'm pretty sure.
Let me get rid of that one so it's not as confusing. Like Jeff mentioned before, we had we said that this webinar going on tomorrow will be the 6th webinar.
Yep.
The 3D Puff webinar is hosted by Justin and Jeff on Season Save.
Jefferson.
Okay, anyways. These were the first ones we did. Yeah, you can, I should probably have my mouse on the right screen. Yeah, you could get into these if you're interested in 3D Puff as well, or could you blend it with 3D Puff? Maybe that's webinar 7
classes to find out.
But
when I try it, and actually,
you
know what? Justin, remember his bear? He blended his bear during the puff off.
That is true.
That is true. He did do that. So,
and he showed it in part 3, I thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he showed it in part 3, and then we got get our grubby little hands on it at Fort Worth.
It looks a lot better in person.
Yeah, and mine looks a lot worse in person. Matt's like, yep.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, but
I said it. It's a promise.
Yeah.
Oh,
self-deprecation at its finest.
Yeah.
I guess you're deprecating your hat that she made,
and you're just confirming it.
So in proxy, I'm just stating the facts. I mean,
just the facts.
Yeah. But
oh boy,
again,
you guys can all tell that we're going down a rabbit hole now. But oh wait, here we go. This is going to be great. Gina says, Jeff, your definition of child labor is hilarious. I recruited both sons to make a sewing tool when they were very young.
Oh, like this one.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know, Adam does have his own business and he sews his own stuff. So he's getting pretty good at the sewing machine. He's still pretty slow and cautious, which, you've seen how fast my sewing machine goes and you know how fast yours goes.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm very thankful that he goes slow because you could just imagine how fast children's fingers could go through that very quickly.
But luckily, he's not a worker, so you don't have to worry about workman's comp and paying that out.
Yeah, tell that to my insurance.
He was playing with scissors at school.
at school. But why was your emergency room visit at 10 o'clock at night? Well, we wanted to see if it got
Night
worse
school.
during the day.
We just put some ice on it.
Yeah.
Thought it would stop bleeding.
Sort of. I mean, yeah, it looks fresh, but define fresh.
It's just a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound.
What do you mean? His finger's laying on the ground. Just glue it back on.
Super glue it. Oh boy. You know, I used to be a TA in a machine shop class, and I had the privilege of putting a finger on ice. Yep. And then I also had the privilege of, when he got back to the class eventually, of standing next to him the entire rest of the school year on everything he did. Everything. I got to stand right when he was in the room. I got to stand right next to him. So, you know, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, there is the bear, and Justin blended the fur on that. And it actually, I mean, it looks really good. And when you get it in real life, it looks a lot better in real life.
Didn't he actually use like some, because he attended the webinars too. I mean, he's been
digitizing he took these webinars and he used her blending technique on the bear.
So I guess I was actually genuinely curious if you could blend and puff, not trying to lead into this. And
but,
it was already done. Maybe that's where I got the idea. Maybe I'm not crazy smart. I just somewhere
you're just crazy.
I remembered this.
Yeah, he's crazy smart. I'm just crazy.
We're all a little bit crazy. We're all like 67% crazy.
67%. You know, 97% of our viewers are going to believe that.
Yeah, and you know, 38% of stats are made up on the spot.
Yeah, and then Facebook fact checkers will verify that as positive.
Okay, well, this 7-minute announcement is now brought to you
an hour and 3 minutes.
Nerds for an hour and 3 minutes. So,
see, you guys, this is why we need to start like an audio only podcast where it's just us, me and you and Jerry Lee and Justin and Eric. We're gonna pull Eric into it, just sitting around for like an hour, and we're gonna randomly talk about random stuff, which we are very good at, and we'll eventually end it, and then we'll podcast it.
You know what? Here's an idea. So they have the half show, where they stop it at 30 minutes exactly. Mm-hmm. Why don't we have a show where it's 7 minutes long, but every single show has an hour of extra bonus time?
I thought you were going to say, and we'll call it 7 Minutes in Heaven. And I was going to laugh really, really hard. But then you went the other way. I was so prepped. I was waiting for you to say, and we'll call it. And then
that's not where I was going.
That's not where. No, but that's where my brain.
We're not going to do that one. I mean, the first webinar live that we did, that we were actually planning on podcast or converting to like podcast, was supposed to be an hour and a half to 2 hours long, and it was almost like 4 or 3 hours or something with all 5 of us. Yeah, that was fun.
And we're going to do that again. And then we're going to do it again. And we're going to do it one time after that. And then somebody's going to hit the like button. And we're going to keep going for another 7 minutes.
Yep.
And then
it's only 15 more minutes to half an hour extra. And then we might as well just do another 30 minutes to get in an whole hour. I mean, we only need another, 3 minutes and 13 seconds. And then we're at a minute 7.
Yeah. See, and it's continually counting down. So you just have to... It's really, really hard to, Jeff's not going to talk about that kind of stuff anymore. Jeff's too tired. But I need to get Lee's email generated so that I can send her an email and we can get the webinar. It's basically just kind of the finishing touches on the webinar to get that ready to go. And then I need to calculate a whole bunch of stuff with math. And I don't like to use
boring.
Math. Yeah, I know. I just need somebody to program it so that I can just go to some web link and it's all done. Like that, I can go to embnerd.com/YouTube and then it's all programmed in there and it pops up and you guys can subscribe to embnerd.com/YouTube. And you hit the little like button and the little bell and then you get the notifications when we go live. And the great part about YouTube is that it doesn't go down as much as Facebook.
Hold on. I got your reference.
And
I see what you're putting down.
And it just broke. Oh, here we go.
There.
Discord.
You were alluding to the Discord.
I was alluding to the
great Facebook outage of 2021 when everyone lost their mind and didn't know what to do, and I was picking up a sewing machine for someone and couldn't reach them or the person I was picking it up from. And thank goodness we had this lovely
Discord,
yep. Which if you join it, which is free.
Yep. It is an app.
You can leave if you're annoyed.
If you don't have the app on your phone, you need to download the app on your phone and create an account. And then you can click on this and you can join the Discord server and then we can chat. And it's kind of like just a big chat room. Everybody's there.
That's amazing.
You can ask your questions. You can get advice. You can take pictures of random products. And, well, not random products. They have to be like, what do you need? They have to be like embroidery related. So, you know, there you go. This is the Discord channel, and we're randomly scrolling through. And that's what we do. Matt has show and tell where he takes random pictures of his stuff.
Yep. And here's Jeff's office space.
Yep. That was right after the movers came and moved my machine. So we got that machine moved. And
the memes channel.
We all need the memes channel.
And the best meme of all is Bob. So if you get any unsolicited messages saying, I do your best work for you, send me image, you send this image, and they will come back and say, how big or where do you want it? I'm not kidding, but it's fun.
We officially crossed the level.
But yeah, and another thing with the Discord is if you have a question, a lot of times on Facebook, you don't really get the right answer. You get answers, and here you get a lot more. People take their time more in this platform, and it's a lot more connected and everything. Like you could tell when we all went to ISS, we all met each other pretty much on here, and it was significantly easier to just pull up a chair and sit next to some random stranger that you have never actually met, but you feel like you've known them for
at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say 3 days, but 5 minutes is good too, I guess. I mean, if that's all it takes for you to be comfortable with telling someone your mother's maiden name, then okay.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. What's my mother's maiden name? Matt. No, I'm not going to ask you. You're going to look it up on the super top secret database. Tell me. Then everybody will know, and then we have problems. So, anyways.
Let's go ahead and remove that.
Yep. For those of you guys that are still with us, there's 6 of us, and we're an hour and 9 minutes into our 7-minute announcement. We are doing Lee's class here on blending and shading. It's going to be number 3. And me and Matt are going to sponsor a one-on-one class with Lee, signed up through her website, to someone that attends a class live. So definitely something that's worth checking out. And
it's an unknown value.
It's an unknown value because I don't want to look it up right now, but it's got value. It's definitely a perk. So for those of you guys that want to do that and want to take that class, it's definitely going to be something that's going to be fun. And I will be there and probably a little bit more awake than I am right now because it's during the afternoon. And
a few more of these.
Yep, I'm going to have at least 4 more of those. But with that, everybody, we're going to be putting on this class for Lee. It's going to be tomorrow, October 16th, 2020, roughly 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that's all of the announcements that we had. It's been, we'll call this a 10-minute announcement with an hour of bonus time. So if you guys would like to take that class, that would be great. You can find the information at embnerd.com/ that's the wrong one. embnerd.com / blend3, I believe.
I am getting there. There's too many buttons to push. I don't do well under pressure.
No pressure. It's the last one on the blending webinars list. So if you guys want to go ahead and go there, that would be great. So I'm going to point at that guy. That is Matt Enderly from Patch Phrase. I am Jeff Fuller from Fuller Embroidery Works, and we're both here representing the Embroidery Nerd. And we will see you guys tomorrow at her class.